Hi, folks and friends on YouTube. Thanks for being here. I'm Still Dreaming is my channel. And in this video, I want to talk a little bit about St. Michael's Lent. So I want to preface this by saying that I've mentioned before I am Catholic. I was baptized as an infant into the Catholic Church in probably 1964. I was born in 63. I know I was not a year before I was baptized. So, and I was born in the month of October. So, anyway, I was baptized as an infant into the Catholic faith tradition, and so raised Catholic. And what I wanted to say, though, was that even though I'm what you call a cradle Catholic, I just myself, just this year 2025, came to find out about such a thing as St. Michael's Lent. So I'm going to turn around this direction, and I'm going to read something from the Hallow app, and it's regarding St. Michael's Lent, and it'll explain St. Michael's Lent kind of in a condensed format. So here we are here, and this says this is the off of the Hallow app, and it says St. Michael's Lent, how to pray and observe St. Michael's Lent. And then it goes on to say that St. Michael's Lent is a spiritual practice rich in history and meaning, dating back to the 13th century. St. Francis of Assisi, one of the Catholic Church's most beloved saints, which, by the way, I have a picture up here on my wall of St. Francis of Assisi, which, by the way, this came out of a book that was, it's a book about the life of St. Francis of Assisi, and it was written by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. It was a special edition. I found out when I started following Bobby Kennedy when he was running for president last year in 2024, that he had written and had published 14 books, and one of the 14 books was a children's book, and the children's book was the book of the life of St. Francis of Assisi. And then in the back of the book there was this insert that you could, a frameable picture insert of St. Francis that you could frame. So I have that there on my wall. But so back to the Hello explanation of St. Francis of Assisi. So okay, so St. Francis of Assisi, one of the Catholic Church's most beloved saints, received the stigmata on the feast of the exaltation of the Holy Cross on September 14th, and began this devotion in honor of Our Lady and St. Michael the Archangel. And then it goes on to say, what is St. Michael's Lent? Origin and meaning. We learn about the tradition of St. Michael's Lent as described in The Little Flowers of St. Francis by St. Bonaventure. Similar to Lent before Easter, St. Michael's Lent is a 40-day period of prayer and penance that begins on the solemnity of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary on August 15th and ends on the feast of the holy archangels, St. Michael, St. Gabriel, and St. Raphael on September 29th, which was yesterday. And this time of devotion is an opportunity for the faithful to renew their faith and grow in union with God. And uh, where am I? Oh, whoops. September 29th, the Feast of the Archangels, which again was yesterday, is also known as Michaelmas, which combines Michael and Mass in certain countries, notably England and Ireland. The devotion of Saint Francis of Assisi. Saint Francis had a great devotion to Saint Michael the Archangel. He lived this 40-day period with deep reverence and a spirit of penance, according to Saint Bonaventure. 2 years before his death, having begun a Lenten retreat in honor of Saint Michael on a very high mountain called Alverne, Francisco felt more abundantly than ever the softness of heavenly contemplation, the ardor of supernatural desires, and the profusion of divine graces. Let's see, how much more should I read? Well, I guess I'll just go ahead and finish reading this part. So it goes on to say, St. Michael's Lent has been kept alive by the Franciscans over the centuries, making it popular with lay people as well as religious. Despite not being part of the Church's official liturgical calendar, this devotion is a rich opportunity to immerse oneself in prayer and penance, as St. Francis did, in order to draw even closer to the Lord. Spiritual practices and rules. The rules of St. Michael's Lent are ways to observe St. Michael's Lent include daily prayer, pray the litany of St. Michael or other prayers dedicated to him, penance, choosing some kind of fast or choose something to give up, to offer to God, such as waking up at dawn or abstaining from specific food. Charity, find a way to demonstrate love to those most in need in a concrete way, such as through the corporal works of mercy. Confession and Mass, celebrate the sacrament of reconciliation, also known as confession, and Holy Mass regularly in order to be open to God's graces. And then Our Lady of the Assumption, pray for us. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. And I guess this talks about how you can pray with the Hallow app. So yeah, that all gives a concise, clear explanation of what St. Michael's Lent is all about in the Catholic Church. And then so over here, just to kind of reinforce what we just read, this is a Catholic calendar that I get. I get a new calendar from our church every new year. And if you flip to the month of August, sorry about that. If you flip to the month of August, on August 15th, that's what we call a holy day of obligation. So as Catholics were obligated to attend Mass on all holy days of obligation, and this holy obligation day was for the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary. And so that's when St. Michael's Lent begins on August 15th, and it continues through September 29th, which was yesterday. And so I wanted to share the calendar. So that's what they talked about on the Hallow app, talking about St. Michael's Lent. So this is what I came up for myself. I took the time to think about these things and print it, type it and print it. So it says St. Michael's Lent, August 15th through September 29th. So if the best way to explain Lent is to say that Lent is three things. It's prayer, penance, and almsgiving or giving. So these three things are what make up Lent. And the purpose of Lent is to grow in your faith and become closer to the Lord. Okay, so for under prayer, I tried to think of six different things for each pillar: prayer, penance, and almsgiving. So this is what I came up with. Okay, so for prayer, for Lent, bless my food at all meals. Learn by memory the Saint Michael's prayer. Morning devotion with Pope Francis hand prayer. Watch VHS faith-based movies and documentaries. Listen to Gregorian chant while gardening outdoors, and build a prayer grotto outside the back door. And then for penance, no meat Wednesdays and Fridays, no sugar Tuesdays and Thursdays, no marijuana Sundays. I have cancer, remember? No sleeping in past 8 o'clock a.m., no secular social media, and no complaining. And finally, for almsgiving or giving, Sunday Mass donations, sharing my Catholic faith on my YouTube channel, share homemade foodstuffs with family and neighbors, renew my vow and commitment to evangelize for Jesus, and visit my sick friend Joyce, and to give money to a homeless person. And then this next thing, I saw a TikTok, and this young lady shared this on her TikTok, and it's a little, she called it a habit tracker. So I took a screenshot of her format that she came up with, and then I worked off of the screenshot that I took of hers, and this is what I came up with. Now, the whole idea of this is to help one to stay on track with their Lent, and well, that basically just to help you to stay on track with it. So I left, I left it's exactly like what I saw, her format that she came up with, and I took a screenshot, and then I tweaked it a little bit, but for the most part. So she left a line so you could fill in for the week. Like, for example, this was week August 15th through, this was the first 2 days, the start, and then the next day, okay, I see what I did. So St. Michael's Lent started on August 15th, which was Friday and Saturday. See the X's? So I followed the first 2 days, and then the following Sunday, because it ran Sunday through Saturday. So this was for the week of August 17th through August 23rd, and then, and so on. August 24th through the September 6th, and then the 7th through the 13th of September, and the 14th through the 20th of September, and the 21st through the 27th. I guess St. Michael's Lent ended on, I'm not sure. I'm kind of confused now. I thought it was through the 29th, but this were the things that the young lady thought of to track on a daily basis, week by week, for Lent. So scripture reading, spiritual reading, adoration, praying a rosary, attending Mass, prayer journal, active service, personal prayer, holy hour, and confession. And then I had told myself that I was going to try to memorize the St. Michael prayer. So that's the prayer to St. Michael. And then you needed to fill in what was your weekly goal for that week. And then what were you asking St. Michael to help you with? or me with, and then what was I praying for that week. So I'm gonna wrap up my video now. But what I want to say is two things. First of all, I failed miserably at staying on track and focused, and staying dedicated to St. Michael's Lent on a daily basis. I failed miserably. I really truly did. So the only thing I can say for that is if it weren't for the grace of God, what would become of us, really, in all actuality. Oh, I'll share this with you guys. Isn't this nice? This was a refrigerator magnet, and then I wanted to hang this up because I had all of my things for St. Michael's Lent hanging from this little wicker little divider thing that I have right here. And that helps some to stay with it and stay motivated. Anyway, this was a refrigerator magnet, and that is St. Michael crushing the head of Satan right there. Anyway, I had this tin from something else, so I used probably my glue gun. Was that what I used? Oh no, I used a little foam stickums. So I stuck the refrigerator magnet to this little tin, and then that way I was able to hang it. Well, I was able to hang it up like that. Isn't that nice? That's so pretty. And then this is my mom's rosary. This is my mother's rosary. And I even framed two prayers. This is a favorite prayer of mine. The Saint Teresa of Avila prayer is one of my favorite prayers. And then this is the prayer to Saint Michael the Archangel prayer, which I had told myself I was gonna memorize it, which I did not. I failed miserably. So what I want to say before I close the video is the part about me failing, and I told myself that if I didn't, at least now that St. Michael's Lent has come and gone, and it finished as of yesterday, which, by the way, yesterday was just like what we read in the on the laptop about the what the Hallow app shared about St. Michael's Lent, ending on the 29th of September, which is a special mass for the saints, St. Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael, the three archangels. So so I told myself that if I didn't at the very least talk about St. Michael's Lent and just share this little bit of information, I guess, that I have, and the fact that I didn't even know about I'd never heard of St. Michael's Lent, and I've been Catholic my whole life. So if I didn't at least make a video about it and share it on my YouTube channel, all about St. Michael's Lent, then it really would have been just all for naught. Just all of it. What I put into it, my good intention, my my desire to really observe St. Michael's Lent, but like I said, I failed miserably. Um, but if I didn't at least make a video about it and talk about it, and then the whole thing, what little I did do would have been for nothing at all. And I can't, I don't want it to be that way. I don't want it to be like that. I want this to count for something. And okay, so I'm going to close now, but also too, what helped me when I wasn't able to get to Mass at my church, whoops, sorry about that, I would watch Mass some Sundays on the EWTN, which is the Eternal Word Television Network, which is in fact the global Catholic TV channel, you could say. It's global. And so, yeah, so I could sometimes watch Mass on EWTN, so that helped me. Up here I have a picture of Jesus. And right here I have holy water. Real holy water. All right, you guys, I guess I'm going to close my video now and say goodnight, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.